Chapel coming out just in front of World Express.
This is Cumbrian Rhapsody, the very much fancied Cumbrian Rhapsody with the star in the front of Joe Fanning. And there he is, the birthday boy. Lester, 59 years old today, on Mr. Confusion, and what a chance he must have. Mr. Confusion ran a tremendous race in the Cambridgeshire last time out to be third. He certainly likes soft ground. Whether he likes it quite as soft as this remains to be seen. But, well, he has a great chance of giving Lester a birthday present. It would be his first win since Tintagel, but it's entirely possible. Let's have a look at the Cambridgeshire finish. Halling has already taken the lead, and as he and Hunters of Brora fight out the finish, just look at the ground Mr. Confusion makes. He comes past William Tell at this stage, in fact. Stays on into third place, never looks like getting to the first two, but Lester isn't really very hard on him. He didn't have all that hard a race that day. Maybe he'll repay the great man this afternoon.
Well, Penny a Day, solid 7-to-1 favourite here, with Bit on the Side is well back this morning, now 8. They don't want to know Blushing Flame, it's on the slide out to 9-to-1. Warm Spell picking up some of the soft ground money at 10s, and that big Merley morning punt on Cumbrian Rhapsody is firmed down to 12-to-1. There's a bit of sentimental money for Leicester's birthday. Hills later 14,000 to 1,000 each way. That's 12s, but Whitechapel and William Tell are both on the slide out to 12s and 14s respectively. Penny a Day is going to go off favourite, but Bit on the Side is very strong behind it.
Now then, a horse who could run a big race here is William Tell, number 9, in the green and yellow quarters with the white sleeves. And this horse was just behind Mr. Confusion in the Cambridgeshire. I've been joined by his trainer from Midland, Mickey Hammond. What chance of getting your revenge, Mick?
Well, hopefully he's a great chance in the race. It's a big step up in distance and on ground that's very testing. We're sort of going into unknown territory.
I mean, the trip, he's never won over a mile and a half before, so presumably the orders to John Tyrrel were to sit tight and just come late, hopefully?
Well, basically I've said to John Tyrrel to ride your own race and do as you think is right at the time.
Do you think anything's going to come from behind in this sort of ground?
Well, horses they just seem to plod away, don't they?
Yeah.
Nothing seems to quicken up and sort of go in a mad gallop or whatever, because it's just testing ground.
But this horse has been well supported in the anti-post market. How has he been working at home at Midland?
Yeah, we've been very happy with him at home. He's been working extremely well. He's basically been bought by Mr. Hemmings to go hurdling when Mr. Hemmings thinks the time is right. He may even sort of encounter this sort of ground in the winter hurdling.
They'd call this good jumping ground. David Nicholson would, I know that.
Probably good jumping ground, but for flat horses, it's very testing. He's only a 3-year-old. He's a fair bit of weight to carry. We're just hoping that he gives a good account of himself.
Hope it all goes well for you, Mickey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, he's definitely got a chance if, and it is a big if, he is equally good in these conditions and over this distance. 1.25 miles is the furthest he's tried so far. So as Mickey says, he's going into new territory. And it'll be a little bit surprising if he is running on quite as well as some of his rivals.
Certainly a horse with scope, William Tell, and he looks as well as I've seen him look all season. Nice spare ride for John Tyrrel. Warm Spell is a horse who's been running well. He's won a few races already this season. He's also been second, showing some very consistent form. Was second to Major Bugler at Newbury on heavy going last time out, and had Folly Finesse and Looking for a Rainbow well behind him. And prior to that, he'd been behind Granby Hall at Chepstow. That was on decent ground. There were a couple of others behind him on that occasion. But his last win was at Newbury on soft going, where he stayed on really well. Had Tudor Island, New Reputation, Bit on the Side, and some other decent horses. New Reputation and a smashing race in the Cesarewitch, and he's a very consistent horse, that. been on the go a bit. Whitechapel, on the other hand, didn't make his debut this season until much later on, sort of early August time. Given a smashing ride by Frankie Dettori at Ascot on softish ground, and he's certainly run some good races since then, Whitechapel, and that included a good run last time behind Trans-on at Ascot. He's one of those who's guaranteed to get the trip.
Let's have a look at the full look at the betting now with John.
Thank you, John. And Whitechapel is in the market at 12 to 1. A penny a day and bit on the side showed 7 to 1. And Blushing Flame is 10s from 9. Warm Spell is steady on the 10 to 1 mark. And now a bit on the side is 7 to 1 from 8 to 1. Penny a day 15 to 2 from 7s. Blushing Flame is 10 to 1 from 9 to 1. And Warm Spell also at 10s. Whitechapel on 12s, Mr. Confusion 14 to 1, together with Googly and Cumbrian Rhapsody and William Tell. Beecham Hero 16 to 1, together with Saxon Maid, the Flying Phantom. John's Act is a 20 to 1 shot, along with Unforgiving Minute, and Mr. Charlie is 25 to 1, together with Proton. Gone for a Burton 33 to 1. Beaumont also a 33 to 1 chance, along with Looking for a Rainbow and Folly Finesse, and also Hilzar and Robert E. Lee. World Express at 50s and Daru 66 to 1.
Googly is one who definitely likes the soft ground. This 5-year-old mare, trained by John White, has been running well all this season. She won over hurdles last winter and must have certainly ran in these conditions. She certainly won't be undone by the ground. She looks really well, Googly. Fine big filly, but a bit on the side, has undoubtedly got a chance to turn the tables on Penny a Day. It is possible, as I told you, bit on the side was just a little bit unlucky in getting his run when he set off in pursuit of Penny a Day. I don't believe he would have caught Penny a Day in any case, but there he is. David Harrison rides today.
Well, John Oaksey, quite right, might well turn the tables a bit on the side. The punters think so. Now clear favourite at 7 to 1. The Morning Gamble sustained on course. 8 Penny a Day, and Warm Spell into 9s. Labrooks are back it, don't want the each-way liabilities. So it's 7's clear favourite, bit on the side to land the touch for Muscle.
Alan Morris, who looks after Warm Spell, has won the £50 best turned out. Well done to him. But we're now looking at Cumbrian Rhapsody, who's having her second run of the week. She won really nicely at Newcastle on Monday. She's already won before this season at Haydock on a firmish surface, but she's quite happy when there's some give in the ground. She's got a chance that it's a big prize chance, and well, she's got another stable companion who's got a chance running at Newcastle later on. But let's have a look at the eye catchers. Googly caught her eye in the paddock, Looking for Rainbow didn't. On the way to the post, I'm not surprised that Mr. Confusion caught Rawley's eye. And down in the betting ring, well, you've just heard Alistair say there was money for bit on the side, and well, Blushing Flame, he's hard to lay. I was just talking about jumping at Newcastle, but at Sandown, a great race there to the Gunpowder Chase, and Jubicilla just got the better of Docklands Express.
Wonderful news that for David Nicholson, who of course took over Jubicilla for the first time this season from her, and wonderful news for her owner too, who was owner trainer and decided to let the Duke have a try. There's Lester, Mr. Confusion, a big white noseband. You'll be able to watch for. That's John's Act in the waspy colours, one of the outsiders, but let's go with Lester. You'll see that he's just got a hand on Mr. Confusion's mane, flatted mane, just in case of ructions.
A really lovely horse, Mr. Confusion. Really got a nice attitude. He's got something a little bit special about him. He's got the ground that he likes the first time today. John's Act's the last one in. It's a fascinating November handicap. Last big one of the season. Here's Raleigh.
Thanks, John. Yes, the start of Joe Scott, Sean McDonald have them on their way with a mile and a half to go, and the Flying Phantom was just a little bit slow out of the stalls. That's the grey, trailing the field in the early part of the race. But quickest away, one of the early leaders, Mr. Confusion, in fact. Mr. Confusion with Saxon Maiden looking for a rainbow. These three vying for the early lead. They're followed by Robert E. Lee, very prominent on the inside. Just after Robert E. Lee comes Proton. Up on the extreme outside, Whitechapel is running well also. But it's looking for a rainbow, being tackled now by Robert E. Lee. These are 1 and 2, followed by Proton against the rails, and then Mr. Confusion. And just in after that leading group, as they complete the first quarter of a mile, comes Warm Spell. Just in after Warm Spell against the fence is Bit on the Side. And after them, Saxon Maid, who's dropped back a place or two. Whitechapel is now midfield in company with the Flying Phantom, who's made very good ground now. After the Flying Phantom, who still improves, going right up into about 8th place, comes Unforgiving Minute, who's followed by Folly Finesse. And they've now covered rather more than 3.5 furlongs, and towards the back of the field in this part of the race are Beaumont with Beecham Hero and Googly, and well last at the moment is the complete outsider Daru. They're inside the final 7 furlongs and looking for a rainbow. Still makes the running from Robert E. Lee in second spot. After those, Proton, the Flying Phantom still making ground. Whitechapel is there, Cumbrian Rhapsody as well. And they're now at halfway in the Toad Credit November handicap, with still Michael Wigham and looking for a rainbow ahead of Robert E. Lee and Proton. After them, Penny a Day now beginning to finish well. Penny a Day, the 15-2 shot, second favourite behind Bit on the Side at 7th. It's 9's Warm Spell, 10-1 Barley's Trio. Into the straight they come, and running on now down towards the final half mile, and Proton now comes through to dispute it. Proton, we're looking for a rainbow over against the rail. Blushing Flame is finishing well, staying on in the ground, 3.5 to run. Proton it is by a length from Blushing Flame, also trying to get on terms. Just in after those is Penny a Day. Just after Penny a Day comes a Bit on the Side. They've only got 2.5 to run. Proton with Penny a Day now coming very strongly indeed. Penny a Day bidding for a 4-timer and could well complete it. Penny a Day, but now Saxon Maid starts to run towards the extreme outside, nearest to us with the white sleeves. A furlong and a half to go. Penny a Day from Saxon Maid and Proton, and after those three comes Bit on the Side. They're nearing the final half furlong now, and it is Saxon Maid brought through by Jason Weaver to take it up late. And Saxon Maid is going to win this one in the end quite comfortably. They're finishing like routed cavalry, but Saxon Maid gains the upper hand. Saxon Maid, Jason Weaver win the November handicap. The Penny a Day and second. Proton stays on to be third. Warm Spell in the end 4, followed by Blushing Flame. And then Beecham Hero, followed in by Bit on the Side, John's Acton, Googly, then Cumbrian Rhapsody with Flying Phantom and Beaumont. After them came World Express, reading back to Hills Are an Unforgiving Minute, then Daru. After them, Robert E. Lee dropped right away. And in the end, the back markers included Whitechapel, Master Charlie, with Mr. Confusion, and also Gone for Burton. And in the end, more or less walking over the line were both William Tell and the long-time leader looking for a rainbow. So, the winner, the horse who just shot, number 12, Saxon Maid, the Saddler's Well filly, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained at Newmarket by Luca Kamani. That takes him on to 47 for the season. It's a double for Jason Weaver. He's now within 2 of 200, an amazing score for him. Champion apprentice only last year. In second place was number 3, Penny a Day with Kevin Darley. In third was number 25, that was Proton, who ran really well with that overweight and Seb Sanders, and fourth home was number 17, Warm Spell under Gary Bardwell. Saxon Maid, though, wins the race and wins it in the end very, very comfortably indeed. Saxon Maid and Jason Weaver, he's on now 198 for the season.
Tremendous effort this from Jason Weaver. And just 2 short now of that 200 score. And he's had a great run admittedly from Mark Johnston's horses, but he's been a real grafter. He's been up and down the country. He was in Italy yesterday to ride Double Trigger for Mark Johnston. And as Penny a Day led them into the straight, looked as though it was all over, but he's brought this filly really quietly onto the scene. And, well, you saw for yourself, she's won nicely in the end. From the 3 furlong marker, it was Proton who was just leading them, the Reg Acres trained runner. And bit on the side, the filly come in looking obviously dangerous just for a moment. Blushing Flame over against the rails. He's just beginning to tie up. But now look for Saxon Maid just coming on the outside of Warm Spell. Penny a Day, I thought he was going to gallop right the way to the line the way that he won here last meeting, but Saxon Maid's just quickened up the better. And, well, this ground had him strung out like the cavalry, John.
Certainly did. I suppose you'd say that the penalties perhaps made the difference to Penny a Day. £8 is an awful lot in this ground. But Saxon Maid stays on so well that you can't say that she's anything but an absolutely deserving winner. And a beautifully bred one, too, by Sadler's Wells. He may not have been a tremendous stayer, but he's produced more and more good horses.
Well, the punters' cheers went up when Penny a Day hit the front, but it was soon drowned out by screams of delight from the rails men as Saxon Maid and Jason Weaver came and did the business. Number 198 for Jason, giving him 135 to 1 double today. Penny a Day well back, second favourite, just second best a bit on the side. Proton the Rag in third, 25. An important money saver, we think that Warm Spell potted into fourth, but as John said, they were strung out like the cavalry. It looked like the finish of the 4-miler at Cheltenham. But a terrific result for Jason. Another Sadler's Wells filly, loves the ground. All her relations have won on the soft. 16 to 1 the winner.
First number 12, Saxon Maid at 16 to 1. Second number 3, Penny a Day, 15 to 2. Third number 25, Proton at 25 to 1. And the fourth horse, number 17, Warm Spell, returned at 9 to 1. Number 16, Bit on the Side, with 7 to 1 favourite. The tote paid $16.50 the win. The places $3.90, $2.30, $4.10 and $2.10. The dual forecast came to £51 and 50 pence. A non-runner was number 5 and 24 ran. And in Newcastle, the 2.15 went to number 1, Morcelli, 100 to 30. Second, number 4, Chief Minister, 3 to 1. And third, number 2, Cumbrian Challenge, 9 to 4 favourite, 6 ran.
Oh dear, it's been a bad day. Oh, what is he going to do? Is he is he dead or is he asleep? That's what I want to know. Well, I think he'd be a lot happier if he'd backed this horse, Saxon Maid. There she is, Sadler's Wells. They were talking about there. Sadler's Wells costs £100,000 a service and is without doubt the stallion of the 90s. Stands in Ireland and he does breed some outstanding racehorses. And this horse, incidentally, is confirmed Sheikh Mohammed as the leading owner in Britain for 1994. The only one who could have beaten him was his brother Sheikh Hamdan with Barouge, but when that was withdrawn, well, he couldn't catch him, and now this horse's win, which wins, what, £25,000, confirms Sheikh Mohammed as leading owner here in Britain yet again. Meanwhile, in the Jockeys Championship, let's see how it looks. Frankie, of course, well, he's well cleared, 233. Frankie's riding tonight. Don't forget Lock Song in the first there tonight. We're keeping our fingers crossed there. And Frankie's going to have a couple of weeks holiday, I know, in the Caribbean after that. Jason Weaver, he had a treble last Saturday at Newmarket, a double so far today, and he's got a good chance of a treble in the next live race on Channel 4. You know, in any normal season, he would be crowned champion jockey. Pat Edry, he'll be going freelance next year. He could be a major contender to recapture the title, 154. And Kevin Darley, best ever, setting a new record for a Northern jockey, 151 winners. Outstanding performance by those four at the top of the jockeys table. And just a matter of interest, I've got the man of the moment, Jason Weaver, 3 last Saturday, going well again this Saturday. That looked hard work out there, Jason.
It was a bit of a slog, you know. They went very, very fast, which probably actually suited my filly, you know. Mile and a half in this sort of ground is probably her optimum distance and round, so it was good for her.
Did you think you were going to get there about 4 out there?
4 out, it's a long way from home in this ground, you know. Probably 2.5 down when we got a bit of daylight. She started to pick up. I thought, you know, unless something comes from behind, we beat what's in front of us.
And it stayed on well.
Yeah.
198 winners. I just think in any normal season, you'd have won the Jockeys Championship by about 40 or 50 winners.
Ifs. There's a lot of ifs.
Yeah.
If I didn't have something, I'd be called Julie Weaver, wouldn't I? You know, so we can't go on live thinking about that, can we?
You shouldn't have said that, because from now on you'll be known as Julie Weaver. Yesterday you were in Italy. What do you have? Double trigger?
Double trigger,
yeah.
one ledger over there, yeah.
And what was that like?
very good, you know. If we're calling this bad ground here today, you should have seen it there yesterday. It would definitely have been abandoned, you know. It was probably an inch of water on the track in different places, but he won easily.
And you won this race last year with Quick Ransom. We won't be seeing him again because he's going to continue his racing career. But how hard has it been for you? I mean, Frankie's had a hard season. He's going to have a holiday. What about you?
I think when you're riding a lot of winners, which I've been lucky enough to do this year, your confidence is high. You don't start feeling tired, you know, and things are just an enjoyment.
And one ambition for next year. How are you going to look at 1995?
Obviously, I'm going to attack it in the same sort of style and aggression that I've done this year, you know. So all I can do is go, start from January the 1st and give it my best shot.
Could be a good race next year between you and Frankie.
There's a lot of other jockeys there too, you know.
There are. Have a good 1995 and well done this year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
A result from Sandown, the 225, won by number 2, Dubachilla, 5-4 favourite. Second, number 1, Docklands Express at 2-1. And third, number 3, Sibton Abbey, 10-1, and 4 ran.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we offer our congratulations to the Connections of Saxon Maid, the winner of the last major race of the 1994 flat season, the Tote Credit November Handicap, providing Jason Weaver with win number 198 of the season. Well, this valuable competitive handicap has been sponsored for the first time by the Horse Race Totalisator Board, and it's my pleasure to invite the chairman of the Horse Race Totalisator Board, Lord Wyatt of Weeford, to present the trophy for the Tote Credit November Handicap to Paul Morrison, who is representing the winning owner, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed.
Well, lovely scenes there in the winner's enclosure. Well done to Jason Weaver. He really is a super lad, and he'll be all the stronger and all the better in giving Frankie a good fight next year.